km equal to dash m? You got it? Your choice 500 elm is right.
1 meter equal dash cm.
You chose 100, and it is correct.
What is dash if x9 equal to 2x dash x9?
Correct response. 4 is the most accurate answer. Area of a square with side 1 cm is dash. Perfect. 1 skew cm is the correct choice. Length of the boundary is known as dash. Right again. B perimeter is a valid answer. The space inside an object is called its. Good job. Your answer area works well here. The distance around an object is called the. Nicely done. Perimeter is a solid answer. Dash is the amount of surface a figure covers. Right choice. Area is the best answer. Perimeter of square equal to dash x length of one side. Great thinking. 4 is the right choice. The length around a figure or shape is called its dash. Sharp thinking. Perimeter is the right choice. Find the perimeter of a square whose length of side is 20 cm. Excellent. 80 cm average is a brilliant choice. Perimeter of an equilateral triangle whose side is 8 cm is dash. Nice selection. 24 cm is the correct and valid answer. Find the perimeter of a square swimming pool whose side is 30 m. Strong choice. 120 mm is the right answer. Find the perimeter of a square field whose side is equal to 16 cm. Bravo, 64 cm is the answer. The total length of the boundary of any closed shape is called dash. Smart move. Perimeter is an accurate answer. Perimeter of a shape is the sum of length of all its outside sides. You're right. True is the correct answer. Perimeter of a square carom board is 3 2 Find the length of each side. Good thinking. 80 mm is the right answer. The sides of a triangular park are 20 m, 16 and 30 m. Find its perimeter. Smart pick. Reinforcement is the correct choice. Find the perimeter of a rectangular field with 15 mm length and 5 m breadth. Exactly. 40 cm makes sense, and it is right choice. The length of all sides of a square is 5 cm. Find the perimeter of the square. Well done. 20 cm is the right choice. A rectangular board was 13 m wide and 7 m long. What is the perimeter of the board? On track. 40 mm is the correct answer. One side of a square grocery store is 15 feet long. What is the area of the store? Nice work. You chose 225 square feet, and it is correct. Find the perimeter of a rectangular field whose length is 15 cm and breadth is 7 cm. Clear logic. Your choice 44 cm is sound and 100% true. The length of a rectangle field is 100 m. If its perimeter is 600 m, find its breadth. Great job. 2000 m is the accurate answer. Renew jogs around a park of length 20 m and breadth 10 m. How much distance does she jog? Valid point. 60 men is true. A rectangular field has length 750 cm and breadth 25 m. How long is the boundary of the field? Solid response. 1 twin mum is a valid choice.
A hockey field is 91 meters, 40 cm long and 55 meters wide. How long is the boundary of the field?
Excellent choice. 290 cm is the right answer. A rope of length 108 mm was used to fence a square garden. What is the length of the side of the garden? Well picked. 27 is the correct answer. The lengths of the three sides of triangular fields are 9, 2m and 20m. Find the length of the boundary. Correct. B360 is the right answer. How many squares with all sides measuring 1 cm can fit inside a rectangle that is 40 cm long and 10 cm wide? Well reasoned. 400 is the correct choice. Choose the correct option. Nice selection. 36 mm is the correct and valid answer. A rectangular window has a length of 7 centimeters and a width of 4 centimeters. Find the perimeter of the rectangular window. You're right. 22 centimeters is the correct answer. Sita wants to fence her rectangular garden, whose length is 5m and breadth is 3m. What is the length of wire required to fence? Excellent choice. 16 mm is the right answer. Find the perimeter of the following rectangle. Valid point. 110 centimeters is true. The pillow is -cm. Sharp thinking. 120 is the right choice. What is the perimeter? Each side of the box is 1 cm. Nice work. You chose 24 cm and it is correct. Find the length of the boundary of the field. Correct. None of them is the right answer. What is the missing side length of this equilateral triangle? Correct response. 12 is the most accurate answer. How many squares in the grid below do not have cross marks in them? Exactly. 67 makes sense and it is right choice. The length of the boundary of Ram's field is 15 m, 20 m, and 9 m. How much more wire will Ram need for his field to fence if his friend gave 25 mm wire to Ram? Excellent. 45 mm is a brilliant choice. Find the perimeter of the given shape. Great job. 14 cm is the accurate answer. The total perimeter is 18 meters. What is the missing side length of the polygon? Good thinking. 3 meters is the right answer. If Himansh runs around the given field, find the distance covered by him in one round. Well picked. 3350 mm is the correct answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Bravo! Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is the answer.